But first, we kick off the hour with a Hollywood producer turned novelist. And with more, here's Joe Franklin.
Charlie, our guest is Douglas Lieblein, L-E-I-B-L-E-I-N. He's a veteran writer and producer of TV comedies with 4 Emmy nominations to his credit. One of his big hits is Disney's popular Hannah Montana. It's a big series now. He's written his thrilling first novel called Flight of The Akero, the Book of Milo. Douglas, are you with us?
I am here.
Is your middle name Danger?
It actually is, yes.
On the birth, originally, right?
No, not on the birth certificate. On the birth certificate, no, I was the mastermind behind that one. I can't give my parents credit.
And a little reminiscence. How did you help to mold the biggest television hit ever for teenagers, Hannah Montana, the big one?
I lucked out with that. I fell into that. I've been writing primarily primetime television. My agent came to me and said, "There's a show that Disney Channel wants to do, but it's kids television. Do you have any desire?" And I just had 2 kids, and I thought, well, it wouldn't be bad for Daddy to work on something that his kids could actually see. And I just sort of fell into it, and we had no idea that it would be the juggernaut that it was, and
it's what
happened.
Juggernaut. In 2008, I know the series held a global audience of 200 million viewers, and if that were a country, it would have had the 5th largest population in the whole world, just ahead of Brazil. That's quite a statistic, huh?
Yeah, I mean, it's mind-boggling to imagine that we sit in a little room and we write these stories, we write these jokes, and then 200 million people are going to hear it. It's staggering.
The star of Hannah Montana, Miley Cyrus, did her provocative image become a negative influence for a young audience, would you say?
I think for the problem with that for us was that we had done a show with a character named Miley who was a much more down-to-earth and a bigger role model, I think, for kids than the actual Miley Cyrus is.
True.
And so people got a little confused because, they see the Miley in Hannah in the show, and she's a down-to-earth girl, and the real Miley is slightly more risky, and when the images of the real Miley came out, I think it confused young audiences, and they didn't know which was real.
Well, you did a great job. Now, an introduction to your new book, it's paranormal, it's coming of age, it's amazing. Flight of the Akero, the Book of Milo, a little bit of how it came into being?
I wanted to challenge myself to do something new, and I felt that this was going to be a big challenge for me, and I had this idea for a long time.
Great cover. On the book.
Oh, thank you. There's an artist named Andy Tsang who did the cover, who's a good friend of mine from Toronto, who did a fabulous job with it. I was very impressed.
I noticed that Apple is giving away your book for free on iTunes. Now, what's the business model? In other words, how does the author get paid on the free giveaway?
We don't get paid on the free giveaway. That is more of a promotional tool to get books out there, get people reading them, and get people to know that it's available on iBooks. It's it's an alternate media source. Most people want the hard copy, and so iTunes just wants people to know, hey, you can get it on iBooks, so we'll give them away free it's only for a week. It's for this week, and then it'll go back to being whatever it is, $2 or $1.99.
Incredible. Now, have Facebook and Twitter enhanced your author experience, Douglas?
I think so. The audience for this book, the primary audience for this book, is all about social media.
Right.
And the book, to a certain degree, deals with a kid who sort of is locked in his own little social media world and doesn't make connections with the outside world. So that, in and of itself, that connection has brought a lot of people to the book.
And people are speculating, I've been noting here, about casting for the movie version. Who might be your choices for the lead roles? I mean, if I'm not available, you know what I'm saying. Who might...
Oh, yes. Well, yeah, if you turn us down... I don't know. I really never thought of it as a movie. I always thought of it as just its own little thing, and I never got that far ahead of myself. And as we all know, when we were making kids television, that we may have an idea now.
Right.
Like I would have an idea now for a 13, 14-year-old, but by the time the movie got made, that kid would be 20.
Or 30.
It's all... Yeah, or 30. You never know. So at this point, I have my mind is wide open to anybody.
How about a job description if you're in the mood for a TV producer?
Oh, we are nuts. We are crazy. In order to be a TV producer, you have to give your heart and soul to everything, every moment, every day, and you have to be a jack of all trades. We do everything. We oversee every bit of production, every element of it, from the writing to the casting and editing and everything. And we're here all the time. I'm on a new show now for Nickelodeon called Nicky, Ricky, Dickie, and Dawn. And I think I've been here for the last 9 weeks with barely going home, barely seeing my kids, barely seeing my wife and family. But I love what I do, and I would not trade it for anything. I think I have the best job in the world. We make kids laugh, and what's better than that?
Your official bio, Douglas, says that you're a 4-time Emmy loser. Will you tell us about that distinction?
Well, yeah, it doesn't feel like the nomination is an honor when you have to go 4 times and hear your name not called. It was an honor to be nominated 4 times, but still, it's slightly frustrating to be there and not.
And smile when they show your face in the audience, when they announce the winner. You sort of smile at him, but down deep it hurts a tiny bit, right?
It does. It does. I mean, I make a joke of it. It's not the 4 Emmy winners in those 4 years all deserved it, and they were all terrific shows for youth television. It's really the luck of the draw most of the time, because when you end up with a category with 5 terrific shows, and it's just luck. It's just dumb luck.
Douglas Lieblein discussing his career in Hollywood and his novel Flight of the Akero.